This now, I mean, it is the silly season and there's been such unpredictable weather as of late around the country, and this can be quite a recipe for disasters when it comes to pools and beaches. Now, the National Sea Rescue Institute is appealing to South Africans to be extra cautious when going to beaches and swimming. So we're now joined by the NSRI spokesperson, Craig Lambinon, joining me this morning just to give a warning to South Africans to be extra cautious. And Craig, thank you so much for your time. It is indeed the silly season. We can let our guard down at times, but you're appealing for more South Africans to be cautious. Good morning.
Sure, good morning. Yes, the tragic incident at Durban's North Beach, 4 fatal drownings around the Cape Coast, one person that's still missing in False Bay. We've also had a case early this morning in Camps Bay where a person is missing, and multiple boating accidents around the coast. We appeal to bathers, boaters, paddlers, sailors and fishermen to have a safety-conscious mindset in and around water, both around our coast and on inland waters.
I understand, Craig, that previously when you were assisting those residents, community members in parts of Soweto and Johannesburg who were affected by those flash floods, the issue around resources is one that came up, and you had assured that you will be boosting resources. Do you have them now, should, of course, unpredictable weather continue in parts of the country?
Yes, absolutely. In fact, it wasn't necessarily a lack of resources. It was simply a case of multiple incidents happening at the same time. And a lot of people who weren't really in life-threatening emergencies were appealing to the emergency service to respond to incidents. But there certainly is a massive response. There was a massive response to all of those incidents. And sadly, loss of lives and injuries were involved. But we are appealing to people to have the emergency numbers 112 and the NSRI's national emergency number 087 094 9774 at the ready to raise the alarm in life-threatening emergencies.
You mentioned also drownings earlier on, Craig, to your point around South Africans being extra cautious at this time. And I understand that a couple of weeks ago, at least 2 weeks ago, with the Yuxgate drownings that were reported, at least 3 children and 1 teenager were found dead. How important is it right now for parents and caregivers to protect children, to be cautious with children as far as they're concerned when it comes to swimming pools and beaches, of course, around the country?
We are appealing to parents to ensure that their children have responsible adult supervision in and around water. And that means at the coast, on inland rivers, lakes and dams, your swimming pool at home, or in and around any body of water that's being used for recreational purposes. We've gone so far as to ask parents to ensure that the person that's watching over the children isn't distracted by cell phone conversation or by chit-chat maybe around the braai, that they're actually physically watching the children while they're swimming, because drowning is silent. A person who drowns simply slips underwater without warning. So the people have to be vigilant. We've gone also so far as to ask parents that if you are watching your children while they're swimming, do it between the adults. Watch over your children at half-an-hour intervals, that somebody can take over from you after half an hour, so you can go back to the braai or back to conversation around the braai or at the beach or go and swim yourself, but that someone's actually physically watching the children while they're in the water. It's extremely important.
Craig, I mean, we're having this conversation because these are tragic incidents that can definitely be avoided should we be more responsible and be more extra cautious, right? And hence we're having this conversation, sending that warning out to South Africans. But during this time, the festive season, how many cases similar to drownings do you deal with each and every year come December time?
Yeah, so we've appealed to bathers at the coastline to only swim when and where lifeguards are on duty. So the lifeguards have literally, since the beginning of December, intervened in hundreds of cases where people, before they got into difficulty, but were heading in that direction, of getting into difficulty. And the lifeguards have been involved in hundreds of rescue operations where people have ventured out of the safe demarcated swimming zones that the lifeguards post. So, I mean, at this time of the year, we appeal to people to have safety top of mind. Swim at beaches where and when lifeguards are on duty. We've also appealed to boaters, paddlers, and sailors to download and use the NSRI RSA Safe Tracks app that you can find on our webpage at www.nsri.org.za, as well as a wealth of safety information around boating and bathing. But it is a time of year where NSRI, lifeguards, the police, law enforcement agencies, and the emergency services deal in hundreds of cases of rescue operations. And we are appealing to the public to have that safety conscious mindset and to be part of the process of preventing an accident before it happens.